Okay, so on this side we have the Phomemo M832 printer, and on this side we have the Marklife D210. Both have very similar, if not the same features, but we'll compare everything they have to offer and see which one is the better choice. Let's get into the unboxing. Both printers come in similar size boxes, more of a colourful approach from Marklife, whereas the Phomemo has stuck with the white standard colour. It comes with a user manual, way more detailed on the Marklife, but I prefer the Phomemo, which is straight to the point, fewer words but more images. A charging cable, a USB Type A to Type C in both cases. The Phomemo does additionally come with an extra adapter that allows connectivity from Type C to Type C. That obviously is very helpful with laptops today having only limited ports. The Phomemo also comes with an additional carrying bag to ease with moving the printer around. And finally, the printers. Both printers come with a large roll of paper so you can get started straight away, but I would recommend ordering a few just to be safe. Both of these are well built. They both have a matte-like finish even though they're different colours. There's some rubber pads underneath for extra grip. The power button is located on the top left for the Marklife and top right for the Phomemo. Two buttons on the side to open up the lid and serrated edges on both to rip off the paper with ease. So as you can see, they're both very similar except some design differences. The Marklife has more of a blocky kind of look, but the Phomemo is more rounded and looks better in my opinion. Both very portable and could easily fit in a backpack or even a pocket if it's big enough. The power buttons also have a difference in that the Marklife is a clickable button, whereas the Phomemo is a touch LED. Just like the designs sync across both, the features you get on offer are equally similar. They're both lightweight, so can easily be carried around. Both have a slot for a large roll of paper and allow effortless printing. Now the prints are obviously in black and white since there is no colour, but the great thing is these can print papers of all sizes and not just A4. And you can use 4 different kinds of paper. Large roll of paper, small roll of paper which includes various sizes, foldable paper and single or individual papers. Now let's get connected and do some printing to see the differences. Firstly, let's download their respective apps. Head to the Play Store, search for the brand and get downloading. They are both compatible on Android and iOS devices, so you should have no problem downloading them on either operating system. Once that's done, follow through with the boring setup until you arrive at these pages. Now let's try the Phomemo first. So in the top right you can see the connectivity option. This is where you can select the type of printer you have. Once you're connected, you can click on the connected printer to see other details such as battery life and the version it's on. In the top right, you can select the size of the paper. Document and image printing can be done with these options. The document supports the standard Word, text, PDF and Excel files. The Images tab gives you more choices in what you can do. You have an AI art generator, useful if you're out of ideas, an AI background remover, which works on its own accord, a free editing option where you can select 9 images and then place them on the page. A batch printing option if you just want to print out multiple files without having to do each one separately. And finally, a collage page that is rather nice. It gives you a template according to your selection. There's a print websites option here, which is basically printing a browser page. And the last option on this page is the scan and print. This takes an image and turns it on its head to give you something like this. The graphic page is my favorite. It gives you a huge selection of already prepared images specifically designed for thermal printers. Literally tons of them. And the last couple of pages are less useful. There's a mall page, which is basically Phomemo advertising its products. And lastly, the profile page with the standard settings and help. Overall, a well thought out and designed app that gives you more than what you need. Now let's check out the Marklife app. Slightly different layout, the connectivity option in the top left, and you can do the same thing here to see the battery percentage and other details. No option for the type of paper, but you can change the width of the paper, which is more or less the same thing. A scan option here and right at the bottom here. Document printing here, same extension support except Excel, which we had on the Phomemo. A picture printing option here, but this gives you way less choice. You would need to have your image ready to print before it gets to this point because there is no editing options in here, and a couple of more options underneath. There's a materials page that is very similar to the graphics page we saw on the Phomemo, but with a very limited number of graphics you can use. The creative template page does not work. It will crash every time you do anything, so best to avoid that. And lastly, the profile page. The Phomemo easily comes out on top here. The app is miles ahead of the Marklife, allowing way more customization and other options. Now, I've printed exactly the same things on both printers, and here are the results. The Phomemo definitely has more quality on its side. It looks much smoother than the Marklife, which looks a bit pixelated, especially around the edges. You can see the small dots flying around, but if you look at the same thing on the Phomemo, you'll see the finish is much cleaner. In terms of performance, the Phomemo has a bigger battery life of 2600 mAh compared to the 2000 on the Marklife. And on a full charge, it can apparently print up to 360 papers. The max resolution of the Phomemo is also better at 300 dots per inch. That's compared to 203 on the Marklife. That was clearly evident in the prints we had a look at earlier, so no surprise there. What the Marklife does have going for it though is the printing speed. It can print 12 papers per minute, whereas the Phomemo can only manage 3. Now those are obviously specs on paper and they tend never to be true, so I tried this myself and the Marklife did come out on top, but not even close to what they claim. The Phomemo printed this one page in 48 seconds, whereas the Marklife managed it in 31. That is a massive difference, and I do believe that comes down to the difference in dots per inch. Because the Phomemo is providing a higher quality, it takes more time just to provide those extra dots to give a cleaner finish. Both printers can also print smaller rolls or papers, and I think the Marklife does a better job there as well, especially with no wastage of paper. All in all, both these printers are great. The Phomemo outshines in many aspects, but the Marklife is a bit better in some cases. But if you were to go for either one, I don't think you'd be disappointed. And I think best of all is you can avoid bulky printers like this that kind of give the same results. In terms of the price, the Marklife is cheaper at around £50 compared to the Phomemo, which is around £75. And that £15 difference is evident in terms of the quality of the printing and the app itself, which we just saw. So if you want quality printing and an app that allows you to do a lot of customization, the Phomemo is the obvious choice here. But if you want something more on the budget side, I guess you can go with the Marklife, which will give you more or less the same thing, but obviously with lower quality.